What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome in. Another edition of Dangle Bet Selly, powered by FTN Bets, right here on Game Plus Network. Also presented by Points Bet Canada, Chris Meaney, and the birthday boy, Eric Young. I'm doing it. Happy birthday to the GOAT, EY in the house. Everybody in the house, happy birthday, bud.
Thank you, man. Yeah, another trip around this time. Still here.
Just another trip, yeah.
Not a huge fan of my birthday, but I appreciate everybody wishing me happy birthday. It is a happy birthday because I'm still alive. I'm doing what I love. There's a ton of games. Talking to one of my good friends about hockey in the morning, and I am truly blessed in my life.
Just I know you are truly blessed, but you didn't seem like you're just like, yeah, just another day, another trip around the sun. Don't like birthdays. Everybody's getting a little bit older, but you're healthy. You're here. We have 12 games on the slate in the NHL. Troy's here, ready for you. He says, Eric Young, happy birthday. Thank you for hosting this amazing show. So we love it. We love the support. We love EY. Daily Handle is wishing you all the best as well. So this is fantastic. And with that, let's just get underway, man. 12 games on the ice. There's a lot of action to talk about. I will say off the top, last episode was pretty cool. It was unexpected when we talked about an Alex Ovechkin hat trick, and when he scored 24 seconds in, you and I were chatting back like 24 seconds in. This is best case scenario. Are you
he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
It feel like he was doing it when he scored his first, right? It felt like he was going to get there, and now he's just a 2 away from the milestone of passing Gordie Howe, and his Caps are in action tonight and they return home. Let's just start there. Let's start there with Alex Ovechkin at home and the Capitals. And they were talking on that broadcast about a potential rebuild maybe in Washington. I don't think that's ever going to happen if Ovechkin is on the squad. I know they're not playing great hockey. They've been missing a lot of guys. Like Oshie's been in and out of the lineup. Haven't seen anything from Backstrom. Not getting the strongest goaltending. We've seen second and third string goalies there in between the pipes for the Caps. And the Stars are coming off a big win against the New Jersey Devils. So it's basically a pick 'em here. Some books offering, PointsBet offering plus 100 for Washington at home. You're going to ride this out with Ovechkin? I mean, a couple goals here. He's got a few games at home to pass Gordie Howe. And, this guy obviously scores in bunches, and he's got a few over his past couple games.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the rule for me. If you're giving me plus odds on Ovechkin to score, I'm going to bet on him to score. And riding that confidence and that feeling of scoring that hat trick, and it's not that Ovechkin doesn't play with confidence all the time, right? Like he knows and feels every time he has this puck on his stick that he's going to score, and that's why he's the best goal scorer. There's lots of guys that can shoot the puck. There's lots of guys that know how to score. There's lots of guys that are just as good or better at hockey than he is. But I think the difference is the mindset. The mindset is he's going to score. And if he's going to score again, he's going to score tonight. So, I mean, you're not making a bunch by betting on him. I did include him in another 7-way parlay for me. I missed it again by 1 goal.
By 1?
Robertson.
Oh, my goodness.
Good Lord. Oh, man. I'm not telling people to do 7-way parlays. It's stupidity. But I have had a very good record this year of betting on goal scorers. And I figure if I can bet on 7 or 8 guys that are very likely to score, in my opinion, and make a huge chunk of money, then I'm going to do it. You can pick 3 or 4 from what I say, and do a parlay yourself. It's a good way to get really, really good odds.
Yeah. And, there's some people that take your advice. I've seen it before. Like you could do combos. Where if you do something crazy like that, where you call 7 goals and, maybe only 5 or 6 hit, you can still earn yourself a little bit of a profit. I know a lot of people that make those kind of bets. Our guy Am the Artist does things like that as well, like 10-leg parlays where we combos them, and if you go 8 for 10, and things over at Prize Picks as well. We mentioned Prize Picks a couple times in this show. We have a free pick tracker over at ftndaily.com. Up at the top, you'll see a little Prize Picks logo, and we give picks across all the sports that Prize Picks offers, and they offer absolutely everything. So you can mix and match across all the sports. You can do a power play where you have to go perfect, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4, or you can do a flex play where a 3 for 4, 4 for 5, or I think 5 is the most that you can put in. But yeah, if you could still earn yourself a little bit of a profit by getting 1 wrong. So yeah, you've been on the wrong side of it. but you've been all over it at the same time. So yeah, Ovechkin, 35-1 daily handle. I saw somebody 44-1 over at FanDuel. The shop around prop shop is really, it's your friend. We've been referencing it quite often. So yeah, I mean, Ovechkin, I mean, there's really no analysis behind it. What we said the other day was that it was just a really good spot against a bad hockey team, and he had scored 4 goals in a row, and those 4 had been in empty nets, and he's on the ice, all the time on the power play, and when his team is up by a goal or two, he's usually on the ice as well. And I love how everybody is starting to come around a little bit. I'd like to know how you feel. He's only 95 away now, only 95 from passing the great one, buddy. It seems like it's going to happen.
Look at. I've always said it is a possibility, and I believe that Alex Ovechkin is the best goal scorer to ever play. Like the numbers of goal scoring, like there used to be 50 goal scorers used to grow on trees in the 80s, right? Like every team had a guy that would score 50 goals. It's just a different game. I mean, if you're a casual fan and you're watching the show, you're probably not a casual hockey fan if you're watching the show. But if you're a person that didn't watch, if you're under the age of 30 and you didn't watch old hockey, Google some old hockey from the 80s. The goalies look like they have no idea what they're doing. The equipment is brutal. Half the guys don't even go down. They just stand there. And it's, there is no comparison comparing the two eras, but the reality is Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of all time. I still don't think he's going to get there. I think age is going to slow this guy. I think we're seeing it already. He's not scoring at the same clip. Like, yeah, he just scored a hat trick and he's still scoring tons of goals, but he's not scoring at the same pace. And the reality is the Washington Capitals can't continue to surround him with people. They're in trouble, right? They're in big trouble.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. As long as Ovechkin's playing, the Washington Capitals are going to do their best to surround this guy with talent, but it's going to become less and less as the years go, and he's getting slower. I just don't think he breaks it.
The one thing I will say, and the reason I thought this, and the show is on Anthem Sports and Entertainment, and I remember doing a couple shows with some people over there at FNTSY when we talked about this. This was probably like 6-7 years ago. We had a big debate on whether he would do it. We had some fun and averaging out what he needed to do. And I didn't think at first, I was like, man, that's a lot to really ask for. Like a lot of goals at like age 38 and 39, him still having like 35 plus goals to have to do that. But then I saw Jerome McGinley in 2 years in Colorado combined for like 40 or 50 goals, hardly moving out there. And a majority of his goals were on the power play. So that's just it. If they can still surround him around talent, if Backstrom can stay healthy, Kuznetsov and things like that, he can still produce on the power play. And I still think he can get like 20, 25 goals when, he's 38, 39. But we'll see. We'll move on from that one. I'm going to ride it out with Ovechkin as well. Maybe just have some fun with 2 goals for him. You see negative on Ovechkin. Prop Shop is offering plus money on FanDuel, but 2 goals away from how it's going to happen here pretty soon, and it can happen as early as tonight. And the Capitals are actually playing really good hockey. I like the Stars tonight, though, to be honest. Washington has won 5 straight games. It's the last 2 on the road. Pretty impressive against Winnipeg 5-2 and the last one 7-3 against Chicago. But I like this Dallas team. I like the way they're playing, and I'm going to lean with them. But I like Joe Pavelski at plus 138 for an assist. I guess pretty good value there for Joe Pavelski. Robertson's been cold. He'll probably wake up at any moment. This guy could wake up, but I may stay away from. I'm seeing 3.5 shots at minus 110. It's okay, but there's a lot of games here on the board, and we'll start to roll through them here now with some better spots. But we wanted to start with Ovi the Great. Let's go to speaking of great, the Boston Bruins. Minus 225 at home against the Los Angeles Kings, checking in at plus 200. We have a goal total here at 6 across the board, 6 all over the place at minus 110. You and I, again, chatting like we do as psychos all the time when, there's a big slate of hockey games. We're like, what's going on with the offense in LA and Buffalo? There's nothing here. It's 0-0 after 2, and then the Sabres scored 6 goals in the third period to beat the Kings. Tage Thompson went off again. Our guy Alex Tuck hit the score sheet. But what Boston is doing right now is absolutely very impressive. They're 23-4-1. They lead with 47 points in the NHL. They're 15-0-1 at home. Their one loss was a shootout loss, I believe, against the Vegas Golden Knights. They are perfect after first period when they're leading 15-0. They're perfect after the second period when they're leading 15-0. This team, man, they're getting unbelievable goaltending from Allmark. Taylor Hall, we referenced last week or on Tuesday, as a guy to hit the score sheet. I saw some people talking about him. Videos were surfaced about him, getting robbed on another shot. Maybe he got robbed on the over 2.5. He's plus money for 3 shots. He still has been shooting. He didn't get the bet, but ultimately it seemed like the right process because the shot attempts are there. But I'm going to go back to him to get a point at minus 122. There's 2 guys that really stand out to me. You saw on the board, Jake DeBrusk playing unbelievable. Taylor Hall as well. And then this Bergeron and Marchand, that duo has been very, very quiet lately. I think that they're due for a massive breakout. I don't believe in the Kings right now. Dude, I don't believe in their goaltending.
We've got the mind meld on because I think the same thing. The Bruins, we talk about it it feels like every week, like how good they are. It's crazy.
They're just so good.
They're one of, if not the best team in the NHL right now, especially at home. I've got Marchand at plus 140. And I got Jake DeBrusk at 205. Jake DeBrusk scores, it feels like, in every game. And he still DraftKings is giving him a plus 205. Sign me up all day. On the Dallas side or Los Angeles side, I've got Fiala at 240 and Velarde at 275. Velarde's playing down the lineup, but they do play all 3 of those lines quite often. And he's the trigger man on that top power play. So Boston takes penalties. They're a physical team. And LA, they're lethal on the power play. They have no goaltending. Their 5-on-5 play is middle of the pack, but their power play has been really good. And I think one of the biggest reasons is Gabe Velarde has been shooting lights out.
Yeah, he has. Absolutely. Man, there's a lot of value on the board, right? Like Taylor Hall, 11 points in his last 11 games, minus 122 for a point. You mentioned Marchand. Marchand just hasn't had any points in 4 games. Like, you just feel like he's going to break out at any moment, right? Marchand and Bergeron. That's just kind of how I feel. So I'm with you on the Marchand goal, and I've been putting in Bergeron assists, and I haven't been getting it, but man, I really feel like tonight, just the way the Bruins they're playing at home and the way the Kings just can't keep the puck out of their net. They're just, what's the deal with LA? We thought they would be better this year, right? Like,
I don't know, man. It comes down to goaltending. It's that old.
It does come down.
I can't remember the coach. Like, if my goaltender is better than yours, I win. If your goaltender is better than our team, then you win. So it's age old, man. I mean, this has been going on for hundreds of years, and it looks like Quick is, he looked really good last year, and I think the Kings surprised a lot of people because of the young players playing really well and Quick playing really well. The LA Kings thought Quick was done too, and that's why they signed Cal Peterson to that deal and paid him all that money. And now he got waived. He got waived. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane that they're in this position and waiving a guy that you paid. I mean, that's the ultimate salt in the wound for a front office. That's telling the world that we were wrong.
Yeah. That was probably a tough pill to swallow, right?
That's a tough pill to swallow. I thought they'd be way better. I still think they're a really fun team to watch, but this is a hockey team that's going to struggle to be into the playoffs, I think. And it's just
I put in the bet. Yeah, I agree. They're going to be there. They're going to hang around, but they need to get some better goaltending. They really do. I put last night in the bet tracker, the Bruins to win in 60 at minus 135 over at DraftKings. It's minus 145 right now to win in regulation tonight. I know that they've been playing some tight games lately. I know they lost in Zona. They had the win against Vegas, and then the Islanders really pushed them. It was the shootout, right? And Boston found a way to win that game. So just to kind of recap here, Bruins in 60. Taylor Hall point. I'm going to go Bergeron assist. We both like Marchand to find the back of the net. And, pretty good odds for Marchand to have 2.5 shots, 3 shots tonight. I was surprised to see Leon Draisaitl the other night over 2.5 shots at -140. We're getting -125 for 3 shots for Marchand. And guys, I know he hasn't been hitting consistently, but man, I just feel we just feel tonight that it's a potential breakout game for Brad Marchand. And he does go through some of these moments where he shoots a lot, 5-5, 4-3, scoring some goals, getting some points, and then quiet here over the past couple games. Breakout tonight against a weak defensive King squad. I want to say hello to some people hanging out. Jeff Boudreau betting on EY to score a goal tonight. Happy birthday, man. Diehard MMA podcast. Good morning from the past, guys. I'm listening, but starting from the beginning, so won't be as active in the chat. Thanks for the show as always. What a go. Joey, you were in the TikTok that our guy Tyler made in the video that we posted. He said, proud to have made a quick guest appearance at the end of your OV Hattie clip on your Twitter memes. Yes. We love you hanging out and talking about it. And, Tyler got it in there, so we love it. Seth is in the house. Hall absolutely did get robbed on the rebound shot in the third. I saw the video, and it was a clear shot on net. I mean, it was very, very obvious. I'm pretty shocked that I didn't watch that game fully, so I don't know. Like, did they credit him and give him 2 shots? Like, he should have been credited. I don't know if that would have been his third shot, but yeah, nonetheless, that was these statisticians, man. They got to be on the ball. Clint, brace yourself for a month of no UFC. Guys are UFC talk in the chat. I love it. All right, Bruins roll tonight against the Kings. All right, next up, Carolina. The Hurricanes at home, -195, and the Kraken at +168. We talked about the Kraken going into Tampa, a big test for them, and they got spanked. The Lightning pushed them to the brink. They crushed them, actually. It wasn't even a close game. Vasilevsky continues to look good, but we are talking about the Canes here. Aho, is he ruled out again? He is. Sebastian Aho is going to miss his 3rd straight game of tonight. He's considered doubtful anyways. So it looked like he was really close just the other day. And when he doesn't play, there's not a lot I like. It's just the 2 usual suspects that I'd be willing to take shots on, Svechnikov and Martin Necas. And that's kind of it, man. Yeah. I feel like maybe the under in this game. We talked about the under between the Hurricanes
and Detroit. I really like, I really like the team. I really like the coach. I like the goaltending. But the reality is the scoring is so spread out, and the guys that you really only trust are Svechnikov and Necas. Those are the guys that I bet on to score. I mean, almost every time these guys play, I don't falter from those 2 guys. I'll say, the game, the Seattle and Tampa game, to me, it's the NHL like planning out, right? It's like, okay, Tampa Bay is back to being Tampa Bay, and Seattle is becoming the team that we thought they were going to be. No goaltending, a bunch of young kids making mistakes, no superstar players, and nobody that can dictate a game on that squad. The Nashville Predators suffer from the same thing. They don't have a player that can just get the puck and break it in and shoot it on goal and score. And those guys don't grow on trees. But nowadays in the NHL, if you don't have at least one of those guys, it's very, very hard to win hockey games with scoring being up like it is. And I think Seattle, great jerseys. At the start of the year was a great story. Yeah. Martin Jones has turned back into Martin Jones. Grubauer is who we thought he was, and Seattle is this is what you can expect from them going forward.
How about Kochikov, man? I put in the tracker as like a hedge bet on the Logan Thompson. It does look like Matty Beniers may take it away. Who knows? Like people have Logan Thompson. It's not over yet for Thompson, guys. Like we could still get that. But I put in Kochikov at 25-1 to win the Calder. Now I'm seeing this morning he's 11-1. It may be a decent hedge if you do have Kochikov, but I wouldn't get too crazy. Like if you already have Beniers and you already have Thompson, just kind of ride.
He's not going to play it, right? Like when
I don't know. Like Anderson's close to coming back. They probably just go 50-50. But man, he's been pretty good. Like he's 7-1-4.
Great. Yeah,
he's got 3 shutouts.
A really cool story last year. Shows up in the playoffs, plays really good. I don't know. Like it's cool seeing young players do well, but I mean the reality is, I think
You think Anderson is the game one starter?
Yeah, it would surprise me if it's 50-50. I think if Anderson's healthy, they're going to ride him.
Yeah, we could see Anderson tonight. He was practicing. It's projected Kochetkov, but we'll see what happens here tonight, who the goalie is. But as I said on Tuesday, you could ride both of these guys. Anderson may have been dropped. I'm surprised that Kochkov's ownership is still, pretty low. So you could just ride the Carolina Hurricanes goalie tandem, and you could rack yourself up 45 wins here. And, the goals against average is going to be pretty strong because they're a really solid defensive squad. Yeah, Martin Jones probably getting the start tonight, an 888 save percentage. The Kraken have lost, 4 or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. And Jones, as you mentioned, some of his games here, 5 goals allowed to the Sharks, 4 to the Ducks, 8 to the Kings, 4 to the Habs. He doesn't look good. I like the under. I don't think we'll see a lot happening in this game. We'd probably see a lot happening in the Florida game. Panthers at home, Pittsburgh Penguins checking in at plus 105, and we have a goal total here at 6.5. Actually, is plus money to the over at FanDuel plus 104. Pens and Panthers. There's one play that I like from this. It's Sam Reinhart. We hit this the other day. Just to have an assist. I kind of like his shots too. If there's going to be no Carter Verhaeghe at 2.5 at minus 118, he's plus 166 for an assist. He's been an assist machine here over the past little bit. I like that Barkov is back here, and I'm just double checking that they haven't changed their lines because they tend to do this a lot in Florida. Even still, Reinhart first power play. First line, he picked up 2 helpers and 3 points on 4 shots in his last game. He played 22-18. That's a lot of ice time for him.
Yeah, man.
With a few players kind of sidelined. So that's one prop that I like from this game. Plus 166. What you got? You got some goal scores?
I got, for me, the usual suspects, Kachuk and Barkov. Kachuk at 135 and Barkov at plus 150. Gensel's one of those guys. If you're going to give me good positive odds on him to score, I mean, he's the guy, right? He's the trigger guy. That's the guy they want shooting the puck. Crosby's unreal. Malkin's unreal. But the reality is the majority of their points are put together with assists. Gensel's the trigger man on the power play, and that's what I like for scoring. And Rickard Rakell has, this guy
he's been shooting a lot.
And every time you watch a Pittsburgh game, this guy is all over every play. Like he's really jumping out to me when I watch the games. That's a big part of my quote unquote analysis is I watch the games, and when I see players like that are involved, they're all around the puck at all times. They're, getting these good chances. They're going to get it to go. And Rakell is playing on the second line with Malkin and playing on the top power play. And sign me up, Rakell.
Yeah.
That's a big bet for me today.
Rakell, nice. Yeah, I mean, he's been really shooting the puck. So. Yeah, and I'm not a big believer in Bobrovsky. He's only playing because Knight has been
he's
under
hurt.
the weather. Yeah. Illness, hurt.
Illness, whatever it is. And Bobrovsky's been bad.
He's been awful. 3.35 goals against average and 8.89 save percentage. I kind of feel like the Pens could go in and win a hockey game. I know Florida's a tough spot to play, but I kind of lean with Pittsburgh in this game. But
me too.
Reinhart plus 166 for an assist. Carter Verhaeghe's a game time decision. Probably a little bit risky to roll him out for a shot prop. I may do it if I see that he's going to play here today because we'll get a decent price on him. But Reinhardt's pretty decent at minus 118, as I mentioned, for the 3 shots, plus 166 for an assist. Even Crosby for an assist at minus 106 isn't too shabby. And then Crosby for 3 shots at minus 144 is a bit juiced. Probably a bit too juiced for a single, but maybe something that you can consider into a parlay. Do you have a side that you lean here in this game?
Yeah, Pittsburgh for me.
Pittsburgh?
Just the goaltending in Florida, like Bobrovsky has been, he's been really bad.
Jari's turned it around too, eh? I know. For the next few years, my goodness, it's awful.
Good luck.
Anyways, I know they already had Spencer Knight at that time, but he wasn't ready. But my goodness, that's a lot of, and I know that Florida has been for years. They've been looking for that goalie. They tried Luongo. They tried a couple pieces. Goaltending has really let them down over the past several years, but Bobrovsky hasn't looked good. Tristan Jarry, man, 920 save percentage. He's 13-3-3. He's turning it around. He is for sure. Okay, so we're done with that game. Let's head to Montreal. The Canadiens are at home, favored at -155 because the Ducks are in town. The Ducks got 5 wins in 30 games,
They're
plus 140 for
bad.
Anaheim. They're super bad. The Habs played last night. I thought they played pretty good, man. Like they took it to Ottawa in the first period. The Sens didn't have a shot in the first 12 or 13 minutes of that game. But what the Habs do is they just take stupid penalties. My goodness, a lot of the penalties. I've never seen St. Louis as mad as he was last night. He was biting his tongue to, in the press conference, not trying to call out the refs, but there was a bunch of bogus calls, man. Kirby Doc got a call, a stick on stick. They called him for slashing. Then 5 minutes later, they called him. He just manhandled Kachuk in the corner, which a lot of people can't do. And they called him for like interference, and then he lipped off, and then he had another 2 minutes. So Habs were on the penalty kill the entire second period, basically, and the Sens got 3 goals. DeBrincat is starting to heat up. The Sens are not in action, but your window to buy DeBrincat is closing. He's starting to have some puck luck, his way. But I thought the Habs played pretty good, and the Ducks haven't really shown us a whole lot, have they? They got crushed in Toronto. They've been getting crushed basically all year. You saw Zegras on the board and Caulfield. It should be fun with those 2 American boys, former World Junior teammates going toe-to-toe today. The last time we saw Zegras in Montreal, he had the Michigan goal behind the net. It was a fantastic goal. He had a nice little showing there. I think we could see some offense from him and Troy Terry and Caulfield and Suzuki. I think this could be a sneaky little game. Caulfield returned to action last night, and he had 4 shots in like his first 3 shifts. So I'm going back to him. I like him and Troy Terry as goal scorers tonight.
Yeah, I got Caulfield at 125. If you're giving me plus odds, I'm betting on him to score. And I liked Slafkovsky, the rookie. I mean, he's looked pretty good.
Pretty good getting opportunity.
Playing on that wing on the power play. And the other side is important. Troy Terry at 140 feels like he scores every game. They're bad, but Terry's continuing to score at a pretty good pace. And McTavish, I bet on him to score, and he did not. But I watched every second of that game. What I can say is McTavish is one of those guys like Raquel. Like when I watch the games, this is a guy that's getting good chances. He's doing the right things. He's a huge part of what Anaheim's doing. He's centering that top power play. And part of the reason we putting him in is what you said is Canadians take penalties, guys. And you're going to put guys like Troy Terry, Zegras, McTavish, Klingberg on the power play. I want the guys that are on that. And McTavish can score, and he's plus 330. That's another big bet for me today.
Well, I mean, if you want to have some fun with power play points, this is really the game to do it because the Ducks are second in the NHL with 368 penalty minutes. Their penalty kill percentage is 67%. It's that's got to be the worst. It is the worst. So they take the second most penalties, and they have the worst penalty kill. Then the Habs take the third most penalties at 358. But their PK is actually okay. I mean, it's just okay at 80%. I mean, it's top 12 in the NHL. But man, these two teams they're not disciplined at all. It's just way too many penalties. I like the Slafkovsky call. I mean, he's on that first power play. Duran returned to action last night, and I was in on Hoffman. What a regret. I'm never in on Hoffman. What the heck was I doing last night? It's like, oh, Mike Hoffman starting to heat up. I was not really buying into the return to Ottawa, but he was, because of a couple injuries, he was playing on the second line. Then he was playing on that first power play, and he had 9 shots in 2 games. I'm like, Mike Hoffman's plus 150 for 3 shots. He's plus money for a point. Maybe he can get one. And then I didn't know Duran was going to return, and they just put him on that power play. So they've been rolling with 5 forwards on the power play with Duran and Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky's plus 430 for a power play point. Did you pick him to score? What did you get?
Yep.
Plus 330?
Wait. 330, yep.
Seth, Josh Anderson, man, I can't get a good beat on Anderson every time I pick him, and I don't pick him often, but I did pick him last week for 3 shots, and it was the game against the Kings where he had 0 shots. But I know why you're asking, because if you look at the game log, 4-4-2-3-3, I pick him 0. 5 shots, 3, I pick him 0. Last 2 games, 4 shots, 4 shots. So,
I love Josh Anderson, the player. I mean, I think he's a really good player, and I think he's going to be really important for Montreal going forward.
I have a feeling that they're going to trade him. I have a feeling that he's not part of the.
Yeah, could
Yeah,
be.
I don't know.
Because of where he plays, it looks like they don't believe. But I mean, dude, like players with his offensive touch, his size, and his physicality, those guys don't grow on
He's
trees. I
rare.
mean,
He's a
is there
rare
a
player.
player closer to
Yeah.
Tom Wilson than Josh Anderson in the league? I don't think there is.
No.
And you always hear when Tom Wilson had that surgence, the scout said, we're telling all, the player personnel were saying, all their scouts, find me Tom Wilson. And all the scouts go back to him and say, listen, man, Tom Wilson doesn't exist, right? Like Tom Wilson is a singular player.
He's a unicorn.
But other than Josh Anderson, I couldn't tell you another guy that is similar in skill set, similar in size, similar in offensive ability, similar in skating ability. Like Tom Wilson is a one of one, right? And if he wasn't, there's problematic with the stupid penalties and playing on the edge. But I think part of that is what makes him that effective. Like you better be aware when he's on the ice, and that's if you're worried about where he is, you can't be worrying about what you're doing, and that's a huge thing in hockey.
Yeah, I really do like the way that Anderson plays. He's shown some. He goes through these moments where he looks like
streaky, right?
Not an elite goal scorer, but like a 30-goal scorer. I know he's been around that mark before in his career. I love the way he plays. Like I mentioned, he puts his head down, he throws his body around. I mean, really, really noticeable when the Habs went on that playoff run. He's like one of those guys that you really want in your squad, even though he didn't score a lot of goals, but he sets the tone by his physical play. And Dustin and Seth, he does just to pick him every game then. Yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity if you're looking for a plus money play, right? The Ducks give up so much. I mean, they're among the leaders in giving up quality chances. On that third line and second power play, which isn't great, but plus money for 3 shots. You could do worse here today if you're looking for a shot prop. And I know Hoffman, too, is another guy and just got burned from him yesterday, but he's minus 106, so I wouldn't go that. I was just really shocked to see plus 150 for Mike Hoffman, 3 shots. But Anderson usually gets 1 or 2 off the rush. But, man, the scoring touch does not seem to be there for him. Habs or Ducks? Who wins?
I think Habs. I mean, that would be my choice, but
yeah. Okay. Caulfield scores.
Yep.
Terry scores. Slafkovsky, power play, plus 450.
Yep.
And away we go. I kind of have a lean to the under. I just like the Ducks don't score a ton. Jake Allen's been a little bit better lately. Montembeault played last night. Usually I pick overs when it comes to Anaheim, but I have a slight lean to the under there. Let's keep things rolling. Maple Leafs, your Buds, minus 120 up against the Rangers at home. New York MSG, their home dogs at plus 108. So a little bit of line movement here. We have a total of 6. How about the Leafs, man? They continue to get it done. Mitch Marner, points in 23 straight games. I was taking a look at the 5-5 numbers per 60. The Leafs have the best goals against in the NHL at 5-5 per 60. They are allowing 1.68 goals against per 60. Who the hell would have thought that, especially when Morgan Riley went down? And this tandem that they have is it's fantastic between Samsonov,
Morgan Riley, Jake Muzzin. There's 4 of their starting 6 defensemen are not playing right now.
I know, it's wild.
They picked up Timmins off the scrap heap from Phoenix. He's playing tons of minutes. Holloway's playing tons of minutes. Like it's insane that they're going on this run with the decor that they have. And that's always been the thing, right? It's like, one, can they get goaltending? Samsonov and Murray are looking like an unbelievable tandem in the net. And then can they get good enough defensive play to win games?
And yes,
they're doing it with nobodies. It's wild to see. It's wild.
They're scoring goals. Like they're not scoring as many, I don't think. Like I don't feel like, I guess it's just Matthews. I don't feel like Matthews is taking the lead by storm, even though he's been fine.
We've seen the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been perfectly fine. Marner's got this point streak going on. William Nylander is playing really good. Mike, I want to go back to Michael Bunting, man. I feel like it just worked out perfectly for us on Tuesday. We talked about Bunting plus 145. We had Bunting for 3 shots. He had 4 shots. We had him for an assist, which didn't work out, but we did have him for a point, and we had him for a goal. And tonight, I don't understand why I'm seeing 1.5 shots for Michael Bunting. I get it. It's a bit of a tougher matchup here, but this guy's playing really good hockey, and he's playing good with Nylander and Matthews. He's minus 143 for 2 shots. He's plus 192 for an assist. He's plus 104 for a point. He is plus 330 for a goal. I get it. It's Igor Shesterkin, but it hasn't looked like the Igor Shesterkin of last season. I'm riding Bunting again. I'm going all in on Michael Bunting. 2 shots.
Yeah,
maybe I'll take the shot on a point and an assist. Plus 192.
I like the Bunting call, man. For me, I'm sticking with Marner. I mean, he's playing with unreal confidence. Yeah, I get that he's respected and he's thought of as a very good player, but I still think he's underrated for what he is. Like, dude, this guy, he does everything. I mean, defensively, he's unbelievable. He plays kills penalties. Like, look, he's not physical because he's a tiny person, but he doesn't need to be. He's so good. No. His skating is so good. His positioning, his vision, knowing where to be and when to pinch. And they're talking about playing him on defense. Like, he's a unicorn.
He's very smart. He's super smart.
He's just a unicorn, and he's good at everything. I think he can shoot better than he's thought of. Like, his shot is deceptive and it's quick, and the release comes from all kinds of different angles and fools goalies. I like him to score tonight. I like Nylander. I think Nylander is playing his best hockey of his life right now. Every time he's on the ice and the puck is on his stick, something's happening. And I got Zibanejad and Lafreniere. That they got that kid line back together as their second line. I think it's really cool to see. They're all coming on as players, and Lafreniere mostly just because of he's at plus 275 to score, but he's been standing in front of the net and playing important minutes for them and playing power play time. So I like him to score tonight too.
Yeah, interesting. And Panarin and Zibanejad back together, eh? Haven't seen too much of that. We saw a little bit of it when they first signed Panarin, but we haven't seen it that much over the past couple of years. So the kids are back together. They got Kreider, Trocheck, and VC on the third line. Barclay, Goudreau, Zibanejad, and Panarin. It's just so hard to bet against the Leafs right now. Like, what this team is doing, and defensively too, right? We just talked about it. The fewest goals at 5-5 per 60 overall, second in the NHL behind the Boston Bruins. It's really tough to bet against this squad. I have a hard time usually not taking a good team at home plus money like the Rangers, but I'm going to have to lean here with the Leafs. I like all the calls that you had. Marner's 2.5 shots at minus 124. I mean, this guy's just shooting the puck, like you said. I mean, he's playing with a ton of confidence. The point streak is one thing, but the shots too: 8, 3, 3, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2. I know some people were burned by he had 3 and they took one away, and some people tweet at me about shot props, and they show me videos and they say, like, what can you do about this? And I'm like, dude, like nothing. Like, I don't work for the NHL. I'm not at the game calling the shots. I can't do anything. I mean, you could tweet at the NHL all you want. You could at them and say, listen, this is a shot. I don't think anything is going to change. But he shot from the point. They gave him the shot. It was the goal where Bunting scored the goal. It was a shot from the point. Bunting got the rebound and scored. But Bunting tipped it first. So he deflected it, shot, rebound, goal. Bunting 2 shots, Marner assist. That's kind of how that worked. But anyways, good price for Mitch Marner. Dvorak point, missed that one, Dustin. I think it's okay. It's minus 120. He's got 3 points in his last 4 games. He's playing decent hockey. I don't like the fact that he's on the first line. I don't mind his wingers. I mean, he just does have 2 wingers that like to shoot, in Dadonov and Hoffman, but neither of those guys are doing a whole lot. I think if you're looking for a single play, maybe, but if you're looking to parlay a couple guys for points, I'd maybe just eat the juice on like a Caulfield or a Kirby Doc for a point. He's still playing with Suzuki and Caulfield on that first power play, and we know how bad the Ducks are. So it's kind of the way that I would go there, Dustin. Jason Prince in the house, top of the morning, Meaney and the Madman. Good call on Ovi hat-trick and Madman on the DeBrusque call. We love it. Yeah, we appreciate the support. I'm glad that it worked out for you. We are rolling through a massive 12-game slate in the NHL. You're on the Leafs, right? Leafs win tonight?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're feeling it.
They're feeling it. Devils 286 over at Bet Rivers. on home ice, minus that is, and the Flyers checking in at plus 245. I had Kevin Hayes the other night for 3 shots. He burned me, killed me. He had 0 shots after 2, and then he had 2 shots and a bunch of chances in the third period as the Flyers were pressing to try to come back on the Avs. This Flyers team, they've lost 4 straight games. There's not a lot of positives when it comes to Philadelphia. For the most part, Kevin Hayes has been a shooting machine.
Yeah,
he's cleared in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of his last 10 games, and he's logging a lot of ice time. It is a tough spot, though, against the Devils. They don't give up a whole lot. You know, they're right there with the Leafs and the Bruins. But they're starting to – are they coming back down to earth, or are they just facing a little bit of adversity for the first time? Because the Leafs faced adversity at the start of the season, and now they're rolling. The Bruins haven't faced any adversity yet at all. And the Devils – I mean, this is the only adversity that they have faced. They've lost 3 straight hockey games to the Islanders, 6-4 to the Rangers, where they blew a lead 4-3. And then they lost at home to the Devils, or to the Stars rather, 4-1. But a good bounce back spot, I suppose. Or maybe you're feeling an upset. Maybe they lose 4 in a row.
Yeah, I think New Jersey wins this game.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's a bad hockey team. Carter Hart, I think, you know, he looks so good. I still think he's a very good goalie. You look at his save percentage, you know, stuff like that. Like, he's still a very good goalie. If you're playing in leagues like, you know, season long where you've got categories, he's not going to win a ton of hockey games, but he's still going to have it. Like, I think his save percentage is still .919 on a team that just gets shelled and brutalized every night. That's impressive. You know, like, it doesn't go unnoticed by me, and it shouldn't go unnoticed by you. He's still a good goalie, for sure. If you're playing at categories, if you're playing like where it's just, you know, wins and, you know, whatever like that stuff, you know, if you don't have a bunch of category columns in your goalie position for your season long, then you got to get rid of them. They're just not going to win hockey games because they're bad. New Jersey, I mean, every team, it's the NHL, and you know, everyone's going to go through these losing streaks. Like, they basically put themselves almost guaranteed in the playoffs by the November that they had. And I feel like Lindy Ruff is such a good coach that he's like, you know, don't panic. You know, we can just take our foot off the gas. We don't have to worry about the streak anymore. But I think they win tonight. I got Hughes at 125, Heischer at 170. Connect me scores. It seems like every night he's still giving me plus 210. Sign me up. And someone to really watch tonight is Morgan Frost. He's playing centering that second line, and he's playing on the top power play. So I like him at plus 360. That's another big bet for me.
Yeah, I like him as a player. I remember him for Team Canada. I had him in our Fantrax league with the salary cap, you know, on my minor league bench. I've had him for a little bit. Yeah, he shows some moments. There was a game where they played against the Habs, and he was alongside Owen Tippin. I thought they played really good. I thought they were the 2 best players on the ice that night. The Devils are always messing around with their lines. They got Zetterlund back up at the top with Tatar and Heischer. They got Bratt back with Hughes and Sharon Govich there. That's probably the line I'm going to attack. Sharon Govich, Jesper Bratt, and Jack Hughes. I like the Jack Hughes call that you have. I see FanDuel at plus 138 for a goal. I'm going to take a shot on him by having 2-point night at plus 180. Jack Hughes 2.9 night. That's over at FanDuel. DraftKings is offering minus or plus 170. And let's see, can we get Jesper Bratt at a decent price for an assist? Not really. Minus 128 for an assist. I'm gonna go with Sharon Govich. Goal here tonight. What can we get?
Nice.
We should be able to get plus 2 something. That's 330 over at FanDuel. He's plus 230 at DraftKings, but plus 330. Igor Sharangovich. It's a little bit of a long shot for you guys. I mean, Flyers stink, right? I think you said it perfectly about Hart. If you play in a points league with saves, you can roll him out, because even if he allows 3 goals and he has 35 saves, you're usually on the plus side anyways. It's like Vejmelka with Arizona. I play Vejmelka in a points league. It's like, why would you do that? Arizona's the worst team in the league, but he has 35, 40 saves every night.
Yep.
Right. If
you're
play
giving yourself almost an automatic win in the goalie category.
Absolutely. There's a ton of goalies around the league that don't like on teams that don't give up a whole lot. And if they allow 2 or 3 goals on 17 shots, like Igor Shesterkin, like he's great. But if the Rangers allow 22 shots tonight and the Leafs score 3 goals, you're getting negative points from that.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not saying that I'd rather have Igor than Vemelka, but you know what I mean? It's you just kind of have to put
in
that
fantasy hockey, you can't
Yeah.
think about real hockey because it's not. It's a different game.
What do you think about this question from Troy? He says his current goalies are Allmark and Thompson, so he's got the rolling around emoji. You're loving it. Yeah, he's on top of the world with those 2 goalies. Absolutely. Well, you must have the fantasy hockey draft kit over at FTN, Troy. He says he added Anderson to use as trade bait. Someone dropped Kubalik in his league. Should he add him and drop Freddie Anderson because your goalie situation is pretty good? You know what? I may hang on. I still think that's pretty good trade bait. Anderson's going to come back soon. Nobody's really into buying him now. If he overtakes the net, like EY and I were talking about the Carolina situation, if he gets in there and Carolina's so good defensively, when he gets in, he probably wins a couple games. Maybe he gets you a shutout. And then the trade, then all of a sudden you could get something more for him. Right now, you're probably not going to.
Because he's not playing.
Yeah.
But I would look at when he plays, he's the starter. He's really good. Carolina's really good. And you could turn him into more than Kubalik I like, but you could turn Anderson into more. Someone gets they've got a bunch of good wingers or a bunch of good centermen. They lose a goalie. They need somebody. They're in that playoff battle. You could turn him into a really good player.
Yeah, you can. And I'm not he says I'm also in first. Shout out to the FTN draft package. Oh, you're a goat. We love you for that. You guys can still get the package. I mean, the season is over, but I'm writing weekly articles and rankings are over there. It's like $4 for the rest of the year if you use promo code Meaney. You get the Discord, all that good stuff in there. But yeah, Troy, I think I agree with EY. Kubalik, not the end of the world to drop him. It's fine. No Larkin. Detroit not scoring a lot. No Larkin on that team. I don't know how long he's sidelined, but they're not going to score a lot without their number 1 center. And then I would look to just have Anderson, keep him. Look to who's struggling in net in your league, and maybe look to the Kochetkov owner and say, listen, do you want the Carolina tandem in net? I think that would be appealing for me. I would be interested in acquiring Anderson if I had Kochetkov. Okay, so one more game here before we say goodbye to Game Plus Network. And I felt really bad because we talked about the Ovechkin hat trick and special after we said goodbye to Game Plus Network. So anybody that watched, you're like, oh no, what the heck? So we will wrap up with maybe another special tonight. Steven Stamkos and the Tampa Bay Lightning at home against Troy's Columbus Blue Jackets. Troy, Stamkos is 3 goals away from 500. Does he hit the milestone tonight? Do we double down? DraftKings has no special. Of course, 3 goals is a lot to ask for, but the matchup, I mean, it's pretty juicy, I'll tell you that. And I know, I see the smirk on your face. You think Stammer's going to score at least 1 tonight, don't you?
Yeah, I got him locked in. Before you even brought up that stat, we were chatting before the show. I had him down to score. I like him. Another guy I really like for Tampa is Point. He's been feeling it. Like that goal he scored on Tuesday. Like just
what a
skates through everybody, dude. Like he's such a good player. So fun to watch. He's at plus 125, and Nick Paul has been playing this. I mean, this is the best Nick Paul's ever been, and I like him as a player. I've always thought he was a good player. I thought they did awesome when they went and acquired him for that playoff run, and then were able to sign him and keep him. He's at 190, and then Line A at 175, he just scores when he's healthy. I want him to stay healthy. I want him to play 82 games. I want to see this guy every night shooting the lights out and see what he can really do. And Goudreau, those are the 2 guys that I bet on there. Like Roslovic had an unreal game. Boone Jenner shoots the puck like a lunatic. But if I'm betting on guys to score in Columbus, because Vasilevsky has definitely turned back into the goalie that we all thought he would be, those are the 2.
Off 2.9 is only plus 105. That's not great. We've lost the good odds on Braden Point now for 2.5 shots. He's pretty juiced, but to EY's point, I mean, he's got goals in 4 straight, 5 over that span. And he had a game November 25th and 28th where he had 2 goals in each of those games. And he's just been shooting like a psycho. 3, 5, 3, and 9 over his last 4 games. He's had at least 3 shots in 6 of his past 7. I like him in like in a parlay potentially. I think the Bolts roll. I think they win on the puck line. Sorry, Troy. I really do. I like Line A. I think he probably hits the score sheet and he gets his shots and maybe he scores or gets an assist. But Stamkos just goes to show like the special, right? When we were looking at that special and seeing 35-1, 19-1 for him to have a hat trick tonight. So just like goes to show like those odds were pretty crazy for Ovechkin. But we do like Stamkos, and I might sprinkle something on the Hattie tonight. We got to say goodbye to Game Plus Network. We appreciate you, as always, hopping over to our FTN Network YouTube page to see the rest of Dangle Betselli at the Eric Young, at Chris Meaney. Good luck on the ice. FTNBets.com/free for a 3-day trial for free over at FTNBets.com. Have a good one. Cheers. Okay, let's get through the rest of this. We only have a couple more games here. I love the Nick Paul call. I just want to see what he is for a point. We're probably losing the value. He's been around even money and plus money for a point, but the fact that it's the Blue Jackets, minus 126 is not bad for a point, right? Pretty good. There's another question here from Dustin. Let's get to this. I think it's more important to answer some of the questions from our friends. Just got offered Dougie Hamilton and Elias Pettersson for Adam Fox in a dynasty league. Wow, am I crazy? Is that a great offer? That's a pretty good offer. I would take that immediately, I think. Elias Pettersson, you're getting a really nice young player. And Hamilton, you know, if I'm ranking defensemen from a dynasty standpoint, I definitely like Fox more so than Hamilton. But man, you're getting a gift, I think, in Pettersson. Troy says take that offer immediately. Amazing for you. And Dustin says already did. Right. He already took it. So okay, we got you. You made the move. Awesome. We love it. Okay. Couple more games here. Nashville and Winnipeg, Jets minus 150, and your Preds at plus 135. The Jets were up on Vegas the other night and blew that. Golden Knights, man, how are they getting it done? They're winning hockey games without like a good part of their core. But we got the Preds here plus 136 with Yossi, and then Blake Wheeler. Blake Wheeler has really caught my eye. He's not a guy that I usually bet on, EY. I don't, he doesn't really shoot the puck. He doesn't score a lot of goals. He's plus 108 for an assist. I've been riding that one, and he's plus money for 3 shots. And believe it or not, when you look at the back of the hockey card for Blake Wheeler, you see a guy who's shooting the puck quite a bit, which is pretty surprising for me anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row where he's had at least 3 shots. And in 4 of those games, he's had at least 4 shots. One, he had 6. And he does have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 assists over his last 10 or 12 games or so. So jumping on the assists at plus money, jumping on the 3 shots. What you got?
Winnipeg has looked really good. We've talked about this, and then, I think the number one thing is it comes down to Hellebuck has turned back into Hellebuck. If I'm looking at guys to score, our boy, this is a Kyle Connor show at plus 120. You're giving me plus odds. His shooting percentage is starting to round back out again. Like he's starting to turn back into Kyle Connor, which is enjoyable for me because I bet on him to score every time he plays. And I got Scheifele at plus 150. Dude, he's playing really good too. A guy that we thought like he's slowing down, he's getting old, he's not the same player, and here he is. Just getting it done kind of every night, showing up all over the ice. He's another guy that I like. Forsberg at 155, and this is another big bet for me. Glass, Cody Glass.
Okay. All right.
He just scored his and in their last game, and kind of got that monkey off his back. A pretty well touted prospect, a guy that was with Vegas. And we thought he's going to provide really good depth for them. Gets traded over to Nashville, has had trouble finding his way into the lineup, but has played almost every game except for when he was injured or sick a couple times this year, and has looked pretty good and has been playing in my opinion, his best hockey of his career the last week or so. Has been really noticeable. Has been confident with the puck, and the most important for me is playing on the second line and centering that top power play. They've been doing all kinds of weird stuff with their power play. But that team's that unit scored on the power play two nights ago. And I think Glass could score again here tonight. Listen, plus 600.
That's actually really, really good, man.
Playing on the second line and centering the top power play, the puck could hit him and go in at plus 600.
I know. You don't see plus 600 too often, right? Wow.
Wild. I was like, they forgot him. I'm scrolling down, like for a guy playing on the second line and centering the top power play. And I'm like scrolling. It's like, how do they not have? And now there he is, plus 600.
What a nice find. And he's plus 750 for a power play point. So maybe
Sign
just
me up.
like a buck, you know what I mean? Like whatever,
Yeah.
just like pennies, pizza money on the power play point for Cody Glass. Nice little young player, man, right? I mean, Vegas has shipped a lot of their prospects away over the past couple of years. Cody Glass, Nicholas Suzuki, a lot of guys, you know, in a win now situation. So 35-1 to score the first goal tonight as well. So interesting stuff there. Love the call, Cody Glass. Cole Perfetti's another young buck on the other side for the Jets. Is playing pretty good hockey as well. Maybe keep an eye on him. Vegas and Chicago in here next. The Golden Knights minus 200 on the road, and the Blackhawks check in at plus 175. So, you know, as mentioned, you know, former Vegas Golden Knight Cody Glass. Vegas, you know, without Pietrangelo, without Shea Theodore, and without Jack Eichel, this is a team that found a way to go into Winnipeg the other night and win a hockey game led by Mark Stone, really. Chandler Stevenson had 4 assists in that game. I'm not seeing any updates on these guys. I mean, Eichel's on IR, and I'm already seeing outs next to Theodore. Yeah, Theodore's week to week. Okay, not good. And Pietrangelo does not have a timeline for his return, personal reasons. So Mark Stone, I like him to have 3 shots, right? He's just kind of getting leaned on a little bit more. The ice time is usually there for him, but back-to-back games with 20 minutes, and he's had at least 3 shots in 3 straight games. So Mark Stone would be the guy for me, and maybe Jonathan Marsh or so. Stone's shot prop is minus 120, or sorry, what do we got here? We got a bunch of 1.5s. Don't do that. Minus 215, 1.5. Why even have it? Minus 122 for 2.5 for Mark Stone. And he is plus money for an assist, but he's plus 180 for a goal. Do you have anything that you like from this game? I don't think there's going to be a lot that I get involved with here. I like the Golden Knights, but I'm not getting minus 200. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, nothing that I'm married to are big bets, but I always give 4 scorers for every game. So Stevenson centering the top line, centering the top power play at 215, and Riley Smith has been shooting the puck quite a bit, plus 230, and he's like one of those guys who's just kind of like steady, right? Like he'll have 20 goals, he'll have 35 assists, he just kind of ends every year, in that really positive column and does it very quietly. And then Kane 205 and Domi at 290. Max Domi he's been pretty good for Chicago and is playing important minutes for them, and in my opinion, maybe playing the best hockey of his career.
Yeah, he may be. And is for the Blackhawks, I mean, like a trade deadline guy, probably. You know what I mean? Like a guy that flipped and he's kind of showcasing himself, playing some important minutes. And that Chicago is they've been just shipping everybody off. Patrick Kane's got a lot of shots lately, 4, 7, 6, and 7. So I may have to I haven't done a lot of Kane this year just because, obviously it's not a great situation for him this year, but plus 104 at FanDuel for 4 shots. Pretty solid. He's been repping it a lot lately. All right, so 2 more games here. Buffalo and Colorado. Colorado at home minus 180. The Sabres at plus 160. And I don't know. Like Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch kind of sound like broken records here. Brian Elliott and Ned. I kind of figured that. Troy, I still like the Lightning tonight to probably pot 4 or 5 goals on your Blue Jackets. I figured that they give Vasilevsky a night off, but anything that you have on your sheet here for the Colorado Avalanche and the Buffalo Sabres? Nichushkin goal tonight?
Rantanen. I'm going back to the JT Compher, centering the second line and centering the top power play. I just like him because he's going to play with Rantanen on the power play to score, and I think JT Compher is a decent player, and when he's playing minutes like that, like I like him to score. And then Tage, and I got Skinner at 185.
Is he back, Skinner?
I thought so.
Okay.
Maybe not. I thought it was one game. Is it more than that?
I think he's got one more to serve.
Oh, okay. Well, then I put in Alex Tuch, like you said.
Got to do it. Got to do Tuch, man. I'm in on Tuch too. Tuch.
We're Tuch guys and have been forever, right?
We really have been. Yeah, we have been. We were just like, I don't know,
Play him more. Play him more. Come on, Vegas.
I know.
What's
We kept
wrong?
saying
Every time
that.
he's
We
on
kept
the ice,
saying
something
that.
happens.
I know. We kept saying that, and we
Now
thought
we're
if he
seeing it.
landed on a new team, and now we're seeing it. He's on pace for a career season. He's playing more than he's ever played. Power play time as well. He's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row with at least 3 shots, and he's minus 112 over at Bet Rivers for 3 shots. And Tage Thompson too at Bet Rivers. Like you guys don't need us to tell you about Tage Thompson. I just keep playing him, for goals and for shots. We have him in the tracker, I think, at 20-1 to lead the NHL in goals. He's a couple away now. I don't know if he does it, but you can still get 12-1 over at PointsBet for him to lead the NHL in goals. For a guy that shoots the puck that much, the ice time that he gets and the situations he plays in and all of them, he's worth a little sprinkle. And then the final game of the night is in Edmonton, minus 162, and the Blues checking in at plus 145. I put in the tracker last night the over 6.5 here. Want to give some love again to Titans 20, right? What a call. He had, right, with Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that line the other night against your Preds, man, holy crap. McDavid had 4 points and 6 shots. Draisaitl had 2 goals, 5 points, and 5 shots. And then Zach Hyman, our guy, had a hat trick, 4 points and 6 shots. I mean, the line combined for, that's quick math, 9 points, 13 points, 11 shots, 17 shots. That line was all over your Preds. I don't know how you don't ride. I mean, the Blues have been awful defensively. It doesn't matter who's between the pipes. Bennington played okay the other night, but, he hasn't been good this season. Zach Hyman, I've just been riding this guy. His assist is now, for the first time in a while, minus money, but it's only minus 108. We've said this before. When you're playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, you're just going to fall into assists. And it's only a matter of time before his point prop is at 1.5. He's plus 120 here for 4 shots. I'm not bringing any news. I like that whole line. I mean, how could you not?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this earlier. Having guys that, can just get the puck and make something happen and score goals at will. It's crazy to see, 2 of the top 5 goal scorers on one team and sometimes on one line. It's just so discouraging. Like, I'm watching the Preds play them. You're like, oh man, the Preds are playing pretty good. They go up early and then they even it. Then they go up. Then Edmonton goes up and then they tie it. And just here comes McDavid and Draisaitl over the boards. And there's just nothing you can do about it. There's nothing anyone can do about it. And it's really cool to watch and to witness. Like, in 50 years, we're going to be talking about how dominant these 2 players were and the fact that they played together for 6+ years on the same team. I like Hyman to score again at 140. He's been unreal. I mean, if you're playing with Connor McDavid and, you're not acquiring points and scoring goals and doing things because nobody's paying attention to you, then there's something wrong. And I've always liked Hyman as a player. I got McDavid to score at negative 135. I don't normally do that, but I really feel like tonight he's gonna score one. Buchnevich at 175 and Tarasenko at 190.
I like Tarasenko too. I get over 2.5 shots minus 115. Yeah, for Hyman, I mean, the shots have really been there, guys. 6, 5, 5, 4, 5. I know 3.5 seems like a lot, but we're getting plus money for a guy that's had at least 4 in 5 straight games and 6, 7 of his past 8 games. And even if you want to go further than that, he had a game against the Islanders where he had 10 shots on goal. Like, you kidding me?
That's insane.
There's
players that would take them a whole week of playing games to get that many.
To have 10 shots in one game. Unbelievable. Crazy stuff. Yeah, for those that play Bet365, I mean, I did it the other night as well. You're not getting a ton of crazy odds, but McDavid 2 points, Draisaitl 2 points, Hyman a point. It all correlates pretty well. And it pays like 3-1 roughly. Well, it did last game. It may not against the leaky Blues. All right, let's wrap up and get out of here. As per usual, we went about an hour with the 12 games. Let's not bad. It could have been longer. Let's wrap up here with your goal scores.
All right, we've got Point, Nick Paul, Laine, Goudreau, Marchand, DeBrusque, Fiala, Vilardi, Hughes, Heischer, Konechny, Frost. That's a big bet. Svechnikov, Nechez, Burakovsky, Beniers, Ovi, Mantha, Robertson, Pavelski, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, that's a big bet. Terry, McTavish, Kachuk, Barkov, Gensel, Raquel, that's a big bet. Zabinajad, Lafreniere, Marner, Nylander, Connor, Scheifele, Forsberg, Glass, that's another big bet. Stevenson, Smith, Kane, Domi, Hyman, McDavid, Buchnevich, Tarasenko, Rantanen, JT Compher, Tage, and Tuck. And my 7-way maniac parlay of the day. I think 8's my favorite number, so I'm going to start adding. I'll do 8-way parlays going forward because that's fun. I got Tage, McDavid, Matthews, Gensel, Caulfield, Ovechkin, and Hughes, all to score. The odds are plus 19,428. And for $5, I will make almost $1,000. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Let's go. Maybe you want to combo that one, ladies and gentlemen. Don't
do that.
Yeah. Don't actually do it.
Don't make me feel bad for telling you to waste your money.
The dude's been like 6 for 7 on these goals. So like 7 for 8, 6 for 8 tonight. It may, I mean, guys, been hanging out. EY's been calling at over a 50% clip. So if you do a little bit of a combo, where maybe you pick 5 of those and 4 of them hit or something like that, you'll still be loving it at the end of the night. For sides, I got Bruins in 60. I got Toronto. I like the over between Pittsburgh and Florida. I do have the lean to the Penguins. I like the over between Edmonton and St. Louis. I got a lean to the Oilers. I like Tampa on the puck line. I like the Devils on the puck line. I like the under between Carolina and Seattle, under 6. That's kind of it. I won't put my hard-earned bucks on the Habs because it's the Habs, but I do feel like they'll beat the Ducks here tonight. But I never want to tell people to pick the Habs when they're minus 150, minus 160 is not ideal, but we could see some offense in that game. Goal scorers for me, I mean, Ovechkin and Stamkos. I'm going to have some fun, guys, with the Stamkos, 3 goals away from 500. Nobody would be shocked if it was like 2 nights, two milestones that happened to 2 of the greatest goal scorers that we have seen in like a week span here. So Stammer, it's 19-1. It's nowhere near the 35-1, but we do like Stamkos to hit the back of the net tonight. I got Cole Caulfield, Troy Terry, Nichushkin, Marchessault, Draisaitl, Sharon Govich. Some fun little power play props there. Shout out to UI with the Cody Glass at plus 750 for a power play point, maybe like 0.10 units or 0.25 or something. Slavkovsky at plus 450 for a power play point playing on that top line. Ducks lead the NHL, or they're second in the NHL in penalties taken and the worst penalty kill. So maybe some offense there. Pavelski for an assist. I got Bergeron for an assist. These are all plus money plays. Reinhart for an assist. Crosby's minus 106 for an assist. Bunting plus 192 for an apple. Taylor Hall for a point at minus 122. Bunting for a point at plus 105. Nick Paul for a point at minus 126. Blake Wheeler for an assist at plus 108. Even Ovechkin at plus 140 for an assist is pretty solid, even though we know he is a sniper. For shot props here, my goodness, all that. How do you narrow it down? You go Tuck, Hyman, Tage, Kane, Mark Stone, Blake Wheeler, Point, Stamkos, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner should be near the top at those odds at minus 112 or something. Bunting 1.5 shots. Troy Terry's at 2.5, is slightly juiced. Cole Caulfield 3.5. I like it. Crosby, Reinhart, Marchand, Taylor Hall. Oh yeah, and I had Marchand for a goal too. I got Marsh down twice. One's Marchessault, one's Marchand. Joey, love it. Tailing all the picks. Let's go. Appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang out. Stamkos hat trick tonight for goal number 498, 499, and 500 for Stammer from the Eric Young, myself, Chris Meaney. Shout out to Tyler, shout out to George, and shout out to Fox, as well as PointsBet and Game Plus Network. Have a good one. Cheers.